It is a TGIF. Thank God it's Friday and it is the last Breakfast Central for this week. We want to say a big thank you to you for joining us throughout the week. I am Oluchi and Olisa.
Exactly. Good morning, Africa. We are glad to have you once again, and we've made a journey so far this week and waiting to rock the weekend, if you may. And we hope that you could have a good one with us today on the program. My name is Olisa. Let's start the program with a look at the headlines. To Nigeria, where the federal government meets with the Kaduna government and NLC leaders to resolve labor disputes.
And we'll be talking about United Nations as they speak on the rights of children.
How to plan a wedding on a lean budget. Find out how.
Improving productivity at work. More details. Aki and Popo in the world of entertainment, they unveil new TV series.
New Central TV.
Many thanks for watching. It's Friday, the 21st of May, 2021. Let's kick it rolling now with the look at the morning papers. We'll start in Nigeria with the Nation to see what they have this morning. Big story breaking from last night in the Nation. So it talks about the anti-open grazing ban and says AGF Malami under fire. So there you have it on the front page of the Nation in Nigeria. Also, more stories are coming your way there. Talks about I dumped PDP for APC to take Cross River to the center. Talking about Ben Ayade as a Cross River governor who's being quoted there. Says our state has been reduced to once in body, spirit and in soul. So there you have it on the front page of the Daily Nation in Nigeria. Also at the top left, Governor CBN defer on loan repayment plan. And Abdul Salami, former military president, basically to government, says forget projects, fund security. So that's it on the front page of the Nation.
All right, from the Nation, we are moving to the Guardian. The Guardian Post, that is the Cameroon newspaper that we have for you this morning. Looking at the Guardian Post this morning, you have customs impound huge quantity of smuggled gold. Well, more details, you have this on page 2 of the Guardian Post. Now, looking at the deplorable state of Bamenda Babaju Road, that's in the world of transportation for Cameroon, it says the W senators and the parliamentarians, they threatened to march on Yaoundé. Yes, this is talking about transportation system in Cameroon this morning, but you will get more information in the Guardian Post. Despite COVID-19, insecurity is still a major problem because reports rate Cameroon's economic outlook positive. You will have to look on to page 5 of the Guardian Post for more information. In the East region, it says 14 die in mining fields within 4 months. Quite unfortunate in this part of the world also. While some other countries are talking about the poor state of the diets they have and the poor outlook of the output of that diet, we have graduates. This is the J&A Oben Foundation graduates, first batch of dietitians and functional food experts. That's what they say. As you can see, the graduate, they're super excited and they're looking forward to the labor market in Cameroon. More details in this from the Guardian Post.
Right, so from Central Africa, Cameroon to East Africa, Kenya with the Daily Nation. Let's see what they have for us there. The president features, that's Uhuru Kenyatta on the front page, but it's all political day. It says poor showing. President's Jubilee Party suffered resounding defeat in the all 3 by-elections, and there's fallout in Uhuru's camp over the big loss. So there you have it. Uhuru Kenyatta, the Lamu Port rose to life with the president's blessing, more like a launching of a project there, and it cost about 310 billion shillings on the front page. There you have it on the Daily Nation. Also, at the top left there, talks about budget cuts hits universities. Treasury has allocated over 99.9 billion, down from the 103 billion in the 2020-2021 budget, and hitch in the grade 4 portal. All of that on the front page of the Daily Nation in Kenya.
All right, moving on from Kenya, we are entering Uganda this morning, looking at the New Vision newspaper. At the top right, you have the last batch of MPs that have been sworn in. Yes, there you have it in the paper this morning. While in Uganda, they are paving way for start of East Africa's multi-billion project. In page 5, the final oil pipeline agreement has been signed. There you have it. You can see the president, yes, of Tanzania, and the Ugandan counterpart, yes, that is Museveni, President Museveni, the signing a key agreement of the East African crude oil pipeline. This has been a long time coming, and a lot of people have been looking forward to this, but you will find more details in the paper this morning. Looking at the politics in Uganda, they said the parliament deputy speaker race hots up. Yes, people are looking forward to who would occupy that particular seat. But you have more details, full story on page 3 and the New Vision.
All right, so let's move away from reviewing the newspapers and head straight to our top stories this morning on Breakfast Central. Right, now the United Nations mission in South Sudan, Child Protection, has joined hands with UNICEF and national partners to hold a series of related workshops in the capital of Juba. Now this follows the signing of a comprehensive action plan to end the use of child soldiers and protect children against the 6 grave violations of their rights by all parties in conflict in the country, South Sudan, last year.
Now, the objective is to educate and train participants from the military justice sector on the rights of children and the need to protect them when armed conflict arises. Now, this is the first time that all parties in an ongoing conflict in the world's youngest nation have come together in agreement that children need special protection during times when violence breaks out.
On training military justice personnel, it's part of ongoing activities by the country task force, that is UNMISS and UNICEF, to build the capacity of support the government of South Sudan towards full implementation of the comprehensive action plan on ending all 6 grave violations, which was signed last year, February 2020.
There are about 3 previous action plans that were signed, but for various reasons, they were not implemented. Now, the latest one was in last year in February, 2020. And in that action plan is unique in its own way, that it comprises of all the parties, the conflict, that's SSPDF, SPLIO, and SOA. It's the first in the history of child protection. You have all the parties of the conflict coming to agree on an action plan. We hope they get our message that they should not be using children, they should not be killing children, they should not be maiming them, they should not be raping children, they should not be occupying schools and hospitals, and they should not be denying humanitarians from accessing the civilians. That's the message we send to all of them.
We are training them now so that they go back to the unit and advise the division commanders on the right way to take so that we avoid such things occurring. From top down, we are giving them knowledge so they know their role. We are giving them their role. And according to their role, this is why we are checking from time to time. We are checking them according to the role that we have given to them, what they are supposed to do.
From South Sudan, we move down to Nigeria, where the federal government just yesterday convened a conciliatory meeting with the Kaduna State government and the Nigerian Labour Congress, which is NLC, to resolve the impasse that has grounded labour activities in the state.
Now, the meeting was presided over by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, while NLC National President Ayuba Waba led other labour leaders to the discussion. But the Commissioner of Local Government Affairs in Kaduna State, that's Jafaru Sabi, represented by Governor El Rufai and the state government.
Now, on the deliberations at the end of the meeting, Ngige told reporters that the state government delegation disagrees with the Labour leaders, adding that the meeting thereafter resolved to constitute a 10-man committee comprising 6 state government officials and 3 NLC representatives to discuss and resolve the impasse. Now, the minister stated that the committee chaired by the head of service in Kaduna State was given a mandate of up to Tuesday of next week to report to him.
All right, so still moving on right here on Breakfast Central, where, well, away from the top stories, let's get you scouted for the weekend, if you may, and talking about weddings, which is a big one. Now, your wedding is one of the best days of your life, as they say, and so people may feel pressure to plan an elaborate celebration now.
But there's no need to go into debt. In fact, if you do not have 20,000 naira to spend on your wedding, don't worry. The good news is that you can still have a stylish, fun and memorable wedding while saving money at the same time.
Right then, our guest is Stephanie Oduli. She is the author of the book Lean Wedding, and she will be talking to us about how to plan and execute that wedding on a, well, I want to call it lean budget, whatever budget you may have, as it speaks. Good morning, Stephanie Oduli. Good morning. Welcome to Breakfast Central.
Good morning, Olisa. Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. All right, so let's go right into it now. Figuring out the wedding budget can be quite confusing, and it can also be challenging for some people because you have a whole lot to put together and collate on this list. But really, why is this so?
I think it's because of the culture we have in Africa and in Nigeria too. There's a need per se to go out of your way to do something big because the wedding day is almost as glamorous as your birthday most of the time. So there's pressure from your friends, there's pressure from your parents as well, who most times their entire dream of your adult life begins on your wedding day. So I think there's already that pressure, and it just keeps going on and on for generations to come, and it shouldn't be.
All right, Stephanie. Now, why do you think people oftentimes overshoot their budget when planning their weddings?
I think it's because of the FOMO, right? Fear of missing out. So probably they wanted to do just something small, 100 people, but then they're thinking, oh, what about my friend, this person, they would feel bad, or your parents want 100 ID cards each, one of those things. And over time, I've seen cases where wedding guest lists were expanded just a week before the wedding. So when those kind of things happen, it comes from a place of not wanting to miss out, or not wanting people to not be there, not wanting to deal with the drama that comes from having to explain why A or B wasn't at your wedding. So, and might I add, most people are also fond of inviting uninvited guests to other people's weddings. So that's also something that increases and makes people go over than what they expected.
Well, I think it's an African thing, because if I'm going for a wedding, I tend not to go alone. I tend to have 1 or 2 people, I mean, I will be there for the party rise.
You're one of them.
I'm one of them. All right, so Stephanie, I mean, you wrote a book called Lean Wedding. Tell us about the book and why you decided to put a book, especially with such a title.
Okay, so the Lean Wedding, how to get married with as low as 100K, was created, like I said, for people who are strong-willed in mind, crazy in love, and frugal with money, but yet we're very ready to spend the rest of their lives together. So it made no sense, because I would always, I had a lean wedding myself. I know a friend of mine who did so too. So I was wondering, why isn't the majority of people doing this? Why can't we create something that helps other people see that they can actually have 100K to 500K and they can achieve a wedding that would live on and they just have a nice time? And I chose that name because while it was actually last year in the middle of the pandemic, my husband made me read this book called The Lean Startup. So being inspired from that, I saw that it was different from how most startups usually are, and lessons to be learned. And then when it was time to title the book, I just couldn't think of any other better explanation to it than to have not the usual fat wedding, but a lean one. And that was how I got the name.
All right, that's an interesting, term for a book, Steph. And I'm really curious to ask now, based on your, what you've put out, what you've researched, what you put in the, on the book, what really defines a lean wedding? Is it the 100K? Is it the money of the spend, or the guest list? What really defines a lean wedding? Well, how can we say this is now a lean wedding? What kind of features of a lean wedding?
Just so I don't give out all the secrets of the book, what I would say are key definite things to having a lean wedding. The guest list.
Oh.
If you're planning on having 500 guests, I don't know, the lean wedding isn't for you. The guest list, as well as the income of the parties involved. So there's I believe, and what I wrote in the book is you have to be of a certain income to get a lean wedding. I mean, if you have a lot of money, I don't see a reason why you're trying to be frugal. It's for people who, I don't have 3 million to spend, but I do want to get married. I want to have a nice house. I don't want to tie the money down to one event. So the lean wedding must first be ready to cut the size of your guests, and it must be determined on the combined income of the couple involved.
Wow. All right. I like the packaging of that. I mean, for weddings and budget, it's always the woman, the bride. I mean, I need to have this glamorous wedding. I need to
really.
Yes, I mean, it's the one day
more like
in my life.
the bride's parents and the groom's parents, because this is Africa.
Exactly. I think I would agree with Olisa there. I think it's mostly the parents who just, like my parents actually wanted to do the same thing. So it's just natural for them to want to, my baby girl's day, we have to do this, we have to do that. And like I said, the lean wedding is for strong-willed people. So you need to be able to put your foot down and say, no, I'm only having 30 people at my wedding, and that's it.
All right, thank you so much, Stephanie Odili, for coming on Breakfast Central.
Well, Stephanie, one thing's for sure.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm grabbing a copy of your book, Stephanie. I'm taking notes, like seriously. I think I like the idea of a lean wedding based on guest list, though.
It's a Yanibo man. This is where it's coming out.
And the book is available on Seller.
Okay.
So you can find that out from my page at Stephanie C. Odili on Instagram and on Facebook/LinkedIn.
All right. Thank you very much, Stephanie Odili, author of the book Lean Wedding. And it's a weekend, so perhaps something. Today is Friday. We're getting set for the weekend, and it's and bed time. Thank you very much, Steph. Bye-bye.
All right, I like that, I'm surprised that you're also pretty much interested. I mean, the men don't really take so much interest in budget and money.
It depends. Sometimes you want to splurge.
All right, Olisa is telling us so many things he plans to do for his wedding. I'm looking forward to being there because I know I have to be on that train. All right, moving on. We all know, so now looking at perspective of life, we all know that person who always seem to be getting things done early, on time, on point, well packaged, whether it's a friend, a colleague, or that one person who somehow manages to finish an hour-long task in just 20 minutes. Me. You see? It's tempting to look at highly productive people as machines or even wizards. But by studying how they work efficiently and effectively and overcoming the challenges we all experience, it's possible to boost your own productivity as well.
Well, you can't become more productive overnight, but if you make small changes and put some habits into place, you'll be well on your way to becoming more efficient. Well, our guest is Chris Omojaide. He's a leadership management innovative consultant who is dedicated to effective operation, administration, and implementation of educational programs aimed at enhancing more productive techniques to individuals, corporate entities, and indeed the public sector. Good morning, Chris. Welcome to Breakfast Central.
Good morning, Chris.
Can you hear me? Good morning.
Yes, we can hear you. Good morning. Now, Chris, we've been talking, it's more or less like I'm reading your resume. I'm just seeing back to back, like productivity here, constructive for the private, the public entity. What are we talking about when we're using the word productivity? What does it mean?
Clearly, productivity is so typically, if you have a goal in mind and you're trying to ensure that you get to actualizing that goal, regardless of whatever form or frame that goal may be, that process is what you may describe as being productive. That is the step-by-step, the ladder step-by-step process in getting sure that your goals are achieved. those tasks that get you from point A to point B to C to D, those actions you take could be best described as your productivity actions.
All right, Chris. Now, I need to ask this question because some people spend a significant amount of their life, working, but the results do not really match when compared to the time invested. Now, what could be responsible for that?
I mean, quite a number of issues could easily come up of why you may start your own task to try and get across the finish line, and I could start and stumble along the way. And the ability to first a major role for you to understand why you're not smashing your goals or why you're not being productive at work. It could be as a result of distraction, for instance. Many of us work in different setups, but you would find out that a lot of people are getting little or no result. You could find situations where a lot of individuals are not harnessing tools that they have around them. So for instance, we all have mobile devices. On our mobile devices, there are tons of productivity or put myself under undue pressure to remember, meeting times, to remember deadlines, because I have a device that's always going to prompt me and remind me probably a few hours before then to say, Chris, you need to get this done. You need.
All right, we do apologize for the network hitches there, but we still have Chris on the line with us right here on Breakfast Central.
And he's been talking about productivity. Now, Chris, I would like to ask you, it's a 2-in-1 kind of question, which gives us some sort of balance. Now, tell us what kills productivity in humans on one hand, and on the other hand, tell us what factors that can actually boost productivity in humans as well.
Okay, well said. I think fundamentally, one of the reasons I've identified is that a lot of people clearly do not make out space to be productive. So you find out that people are working in environments that make it a struggle to actually get results. Because clearly, if you're in a space that is not inspiring you and is not, in our own word, gingering you for you to be able to work harder, clearly, it inspires you to wake up every morning and go to and being able to put in your best. You will clearly have the results you show. I mean, another major thing again is that a lot of us, like I said, are carried around or being swept around by the spirit of busyness. I have a friend who works amazingly well, and she called it a Power 5. So what that is that she, rather than having 20 things on her to-do list, she has 5 major tasks. And once she's able to smash those 5 goals,
all right. Well, thank you very much, Chris Omajede, for coming on the program. Chris, clearly leadership consultant. We had a bit of an issue with the network, but thank you very much. We'll still have him again.
Yes, he's still here again. Oh, okay.
Thank you very much.
All right, Chris. We're looking forward to have you one more time again on Breakfast Central, perhaps next week, and to really get some sense of this productivity thing he's talking about, because this is productivity at work, and I really want to, when we have Chris again, talk about productivity in the home, because that's where I struggle.
I know, because I can see the way you're always really getting at it in the office here. It's back to back. But sometimes home might be the opposite, yeah?
Man, home is, it's not a mess, but
you're still struggling. I mean, you're still trying to grasp certain things.
Yeah, because there's lots of sleep time. You can't get things done. And there's cooking to be done, there's washing to be done, there's ironing, there's this, there's chores, there's reading. And how do I put all that in time management and smash the goals just like Chris talked about?
You need to have the power of 5.
Power 5, okay.
All right, coming up next on Breakfast Central.
Right there, remember those two? Aki and Papa were the villain in a new TV series. We'll tell you all about it.
And the act of spoken word poetry will be coming right up too.
Also, results from Basketball Africa League Day 6.
kuna kallon News Central TV.
It's still the TGIF edition, and you are still watching Breakfast Central on News Central TV. Now, join the breakfast conversation on all social media. You can tweet at News Central TV using the hashtag NC Breakfast. Now, once again, it is NC Breakfast. All right, let's look at now this next segment we're in. We're dating back to the late 20th century. Spoken word poetry, unlike other forms of poetry, has been a unique form of poetry that allows one to tell a story through poetry and performance. Most of the time, spoken word poets convey controversial, strong, and important messages through word of mouth. Now, today on the show, we have joining us an amazing spoken word poet, Ibrahim Abu, aka IB. Welcome to Breakfast Central, IB.
Welcome.
Welcome. How have you been?
Fine.
Awesome. Okay, so let's start from you taking us down your journey. I mean, telling us how you started spoken word poetry. I know, I'm guessing you probably started when you were a little loud. You know, let's walk with you down in the story.
Okay, so I've been writing since I was 9, but performing poetry at large just started in 2015 on stage for me.
2015, that's when. But you've been writing since you were 9.
Yeah.
Now, looking at writing. Now, writing has different stages. You know, there's some people who end up writing and they end up becoming script writers. There are some people who end up writing and they write songs for artists. There are some people who end up writing and they write stage plays. But your own writing led you to spoken words. I mean, at what point, what junction in your life did you realize that was the path to take?
Okay, so let me put it out there. I do other forms of writing. So I write scripts, I write copies and all of that, but poetry is like my passion. Yeah, so I've been writing like page poetry for a while, since maybe 12, but I've been performing poetry on stage since 2015.
2015.
Yeah, so.
All right, so that's fantastic because I need to applaud people in your sector because it's not it's intellectual. It's not as easy as just putting wood together and getting nails and hitting it up. Now, but you know, there's this popular belief that spoken word artists, they do not get enough widespread recognition. They're not recognized as they ought to. I mean, and you as an African spoken word artist or a spoken word poetry artist, quote unquote, yes. What would you make of this? Is this really true?
I feel like it's partially true. Okay, we have the response, the stage is now getting broader for us, even if before it wasn't. So I have we can see poetry in everything, virtually everything. Brands use poetry right now. And so it's getting bigger. So I'm looking on the brighter side, not on the side that we don't get enough recognition. Okay,
talking about your performance now, can you tell us what the audience reaction is like after each performance? And let us know what your best outing has been so far.
Okay, my best outing, wow. Okay, for me, I feel like the essence of art is to transform society and life in general. So my best outing would be in SIO. That SIO is an event I organized, by the way. It's like the biggest spoken word concert in Nigeria. So SIO 2017, after we were done, someone told me, about 4 persons told me they were not going to commit abortion. So I think that's it for me.
After your performance?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I performed the poem titled Unveil.
And what was the poem about, Unveil?
It was a story about a girl that was raped.
Aha.
Yeah, and the raped by her uncle, and they raped her uncle and his son in the space of 48 hours, and it led to a pregnancy. True life story.
I mean, that would have inspired a lot of people. And I'm glad we have people like you in our society nowadays. I mean, because we're in a century, we're in a day and age where your kind of work is being recognized and is being appreciated, and it's touching lives of people real time. Now, when we're talking about spoken word poets, a lot of them, the popular ones, quite a number of them, are known for certain specific theme in their work. You know, they have something about them that anybody who walks by or who hears it will know, oh, this is from you, this is from IB. Do you have any specifics in terms of the work you do and the theme?
I just do socially conscious poems, actually.
Socially conscious poems.
Yeah.
Now, let us know some of the challenges, I mean, the major challenges you've had to face in this career you've chosen.
The cost of creating content.
Content, yeah?
Yeah, the cost of creating content, it's actually very, very high. Like,
Very high.
Yeah.
How have you been able to manage it?
Passion has been putting me through.
Passion.
I guess. Yeah, because, yes, like I said, so other forms of writing I do, I put my money into poetry.
All right, thank you so much for joining Breakfast Central, IB. Stay tuned as IB will be inspiring us on Friday with some spoken words before the breakfast wraps up. Up next is entertainment. All right, welcome back to Breakfast Central on News Central TV. It is a TGIF edition. Remember, we told you we're expecting a Nollywood remake of the 2002 classic Aki and Popo by the hilarious duo Chinedu Ikedeze and Osita Iheme, popularly known as Aki and Popo. Well, it seems that's not all that they're up to, because Sam Dandy is here to tell us more. Hey, Sam, take it away.
So I'm super excited. Like you said, it's a Friday, and well, there's more information about Aki and Popo. Now, of course, I brought that information to you some weeks ago, that they're going to do a Nollywood remake of the 2002 Aki na Ukwa. Now, this is a hilarious duo, of course, by Aki and Popo. Now, that's not all they're up to, right? So the pair, Chinedu Ikedeze and Osita Iheme, are currently working on a television series titled Fati and Sons. Now, they recently confirmed their involvement in production, you know, with behind-the-scenes photos that they both shared to their social media platforms. Now, the sitcom would follow the story of Fatai, a middle-aged mechanic, as he navigates his workshop, son, and apprentices. Now, in fact, I don't know who plays what character, but it also stars Muyiwa Adegoke, Saeed, which is also called Funke Malam. We also have That Worry Girl, and Nedu Wazobia also happens to be there. So we're super excited. So we're looking forward to seeing them together on our screens. And once again, we're sure that, you know what, it's going to be big. They're going to make us laugh, because, I mean, it's Aki and Popo. They can't lose it. They can't lose that. Right, so let me take you all the way to the Gold Coast. Now, the 39th International Reggae and World Music Awards happened over the week, and I've got a list of some of the big winners, you know, on that day. As always, the award celebrates the world's contribution to reggae, you know, the genre of music. Now, Ghana's Kwame Yeboah wins Instrumentalist of the Year, beating 4 others. Now, which is incredible, because he doubles as a guitarist, a keyboardist, a producer, and a recording engineer. So clearly, he deserves that award, okay? 36-year-old Shatawale also won the Entertainer of the Year award. He beat Biju Banton and 3 others. I mean, you can't mention Ghana without mentioning some certain people. Now, rapper Sarkodie also won the Best Virtual Concert Award. Now, it's a beautiful thing, because of COVID, we can give awards like this. And of course, this was for his Black Love concert, which he held in August 2020 at the Black Star Square. Now, even 13-year-old Ghanaian DJ Switch bagged the award for Young Entertainer of the Year. I mean, she's 13. What am I doing to my life? Okay. She's definitely impressive. Now, remember, in 2018, she opened for Bill and Melinda Gates, their annual foundation, which is remarkable. Finally, another rather interesting highlight of the award was the induction of Ziggy Marley into International Reggae and Music Hall of Fame. Now, he also got the Lifetime Achievement Award. I'm just super excited. Big congratulations to all the winners.
Wow. Simon, really bring up this one. You talked about Sarkodie winning the Best Virtual Performance Award. So, is this based on pandemic? Is it a pandemic-inspired category?
So we know that it has happened a couple of times. A lot of shows have been cancelled, and some people weren't smart enough to, you know, make it virtual, and they lost money. People had to refund money, but it was smart to do this, you know, virtually, because you can be at home. I can be at home and watch it, and I think that's just the best part of the pandemic, to be honest.
Okay.
I mean, that's saving a lot of money, and it's still making some money at the same time.
It does.
All right, Sam. At least there's still more stories right here on entertainment.
Well, that's all we have for today.
Oh, Sam, I was really looking forward to... Anyway, but only fitting, but at least you told us about Aki and Popo. What's it called? Fatty and Sons?
Fatty and Sons, you're correct. You're correct.
Oh my God, it sounds so Aki and Popo, doesn't it?
Exactly. I know. I'm looking forward to it. Anyway.
You know what's funny? People are saying that maybe it might not be, you know, their usual personalities anymore, that they have grown. I mean, it's in 20 years. But I'm pretty sure they can pull it off. They're going to do a great job. For both the film and the series, I'm sure they're going to do a great job.
Oh, so we're looking forward to it, not just the series, also a film. Ah, wow. Okay, well, thank you very much, Sam, for the latest in the world of entertainment. Sam Dandy.
Of course.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. And by the way, we have a winner on the question we asked this week. Remember the question? We asked who the entertainment presenter is on Breakfast Central. And here is our winners out of all the entries that came in. Samuel Ojo at Sam Dandy, that's Skill Hub NG that gave us the answer. It says Samuel Ojo is the presenter of the entertainment news on News Central TV. So Skill Hub NG,
wow.
Congratulations.
Congratulations to you.
Drum roll.
All right, so he gets to win our prize right here on Breakfast Central. Congratulations once again. So always watch Breakfast Central. We'll be asking questions, random questions about News Central, our presenters, our programs, and it could be as random as anything. So keep it locked here, and you might just stand a chance to win something big. Right then, still to come, right here on Breakfast Central. Results from Basketball Africa League Day 6 will tell you what happened to Nigeria's Rivers Hoopers. And Joel Embiid looks like he might be winning an award out there in the NBA. Right, then it's still Breakfast Central on a Friday with Olisa and Oluchi. Time now for some sports, and joined by none other than our First Lady of Sports right here at News Central, Onyinyechi Obaro. Oyi, good morning to you.
Good morning, Olisa.
All right, Oyi, let's talk about the Basketball Africa League. I'm looking at those results right now, Oyi. Rivers Hoopers of Nigeria, they lost again.
Yes, I'm very sure that it has been a back-to-back loss for Rivers Hoopers. But the truth is, maybe they underestimated the teams they were supposed to face up with at the Basketball Africa League. Looking at the efforts they've made so far, they have a problem of defense. Yesterday, U.S. ministers were able to take advantage of that defense and had some shots. So they were point defense, point shooting, point all their arrangement there. One guy who has been spectacular for Rivers Hoopers has been Ben Uzo. So his effort was not enough to even get them a win yesterday. But they will go against GNBC, and maybe they should be able to get a win at least in the Basketball Africa League.
All right, looking at the other results from yesterday, so Rivers Hoopers losing their second game of the BAL. The Petro Luanda beating the team from Cameroon, that's FAP, not a bad one for them. And US Monastir beating Rivers Hoopers, and AS Saleh beating, AS Police 88-79. So here today is a rest day out there in Rwanda. We've seen 6 days of action so far, so good.
Yes, a rest day will be a good one for them to be able to restructure, like have a paradigm shift. All coaches be able to put their teams together. But yesterday, AS Saleh had a big surprise. The man, Adam El Ghazi, was able to go through, winning the player of the tourney, of the whole tourney there against their opponent. But today, as a day of rest, coaches go in, have a paradigm shift, have the blueprints to be able to come up with something else, have your tactics change. It's a good one. A day of rest should count a lot for the coaches.
All right, away from basketball in Africa, let's go to big one, the NBA, but also big news for an African player, Joel Embiid. We're hearing that he's up for an award, a shortlist. Tell us all about it.
Yes, Joel Embiid up for the most valuable player, the nominee for the finalists there with the likes of Golden State Warriors, Stephen Curry, and Denver Nuggets, Luka Jovic. But looking at the African in me, I would pick Joel Embiid, but you cannot underestimate the effort of Stephen Curry for Golden State Warriors. He has been one man that has been taking Golden State Warriors to even the front lines, making it to the playoffs there. But if you look at what it means, most valuable player, without Stephen Curry, Golden State Warriors going nowhere. Looking at Philadelphia 76ers, where Joel Embiid plays for, remember that injury that caught him at the other time on the knee, they were able to still go through. Philadelphia 76ers were able to still go through. So maybe for me, the African me would give them Joel Embiid, but I would say Stephen Curry stands a chance.
Well, as we say here, Africa first. So let's see if Joel Embiid will take it anyway. Thank you very much, Onyechi Obaro. We'll see you much later on in the game.
You're welcome, Olisa.
All right.
All right, so you have some interesting programs for you to watch later today on News Central TV. Take a look.
All right, later today you can catch your Business Edge at 11 a.m. West African time.
And you can have the NC debrief by 1:30 p.m. West African time.
And at 9 p.m. is NC Continental Prime. You don't want to miss it. Right, it's time to get the weekend off on a good start. Our spoken word guest, IB, is here to perform for you and for us. IB, can you take it away for us?
Daddy said that his dad was very skilled at making mortars. No wonder the only gift his pistol-like fist graciously gave were poundings on the skins of his offspring, he said. That the tongue of his generation was voiceless. They weren't flesh to old conversations. They only dwelled in their mouth for rehearsed accurate responses that has been beaten into their subconscious. Yes, sir. No, sir. Okay, sir. Can I go now, sir? He once spoke of his early days as military drills. Said his dad was as hard as a brick, no emotions attached. So he treated his family like they were friends with benefits. Said his dad always carried with him this graveyard because his very presence birthed deafening silence. Said polygamy was the hall his father slept with openly, so they grew up in this barrack of a household with platoons constantly at war. Said it was tough, being raised in a broken home with very strong foundations. Daddy said he once told me that his dad wasn't a god. He once told me that his dad wasn't a man, he was a god, an idol, a mystery he couldn't decipher. His words were eternal, his meals were served like sacrifices. They prayed, he accepted. His drinks were poured like libation. Daddy said that it took him almost 4 decades to get a mental sketch of the man he called father, for they were always told to bow in his presence like he was God, and they were freaking Moseses. So Daddy picked up the rubbles of a broken childhood and built himself into an emotionless wall, standing tall with no cracks to peek through. Daddy is still a boy, still learning to hold conversation. Daddy is still a teenager, still learning to express his emotions. He still responds in shy silences whenever I tell him I love him. He blushes. Daddy is still human, still learning to understand that it's okay for men to cry. Daddy said that his dad was very skilled at making mortars. No wonder the only gift his pistol-like fist graciously gave was pounding.
All right, thank you very much, Ivy, for that one. So that ends it for us on Breakfast Central. We go. Well, we come again next week with the crew. Olisa, Oluchi, Breakfast Central, News Central, everything Central, right here. We see you next week. Bye-bye.